podcast is brought to you by startup.com. At startup.com, your business plans take wings to fly. They help you nurture, incubate, and accelerate your startup with their well-established network. Today on the podcast with me is the co-founder of the K9 Unit, the first of its kind TikTok content creation company in the Middle East. But most importantly, my first podcast with TikTok sensation, a rage across the UAE, the super wacky Fahad Kaleem.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Fahad.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's my pleasure. This is my first time. I must admit, this is unfamiliar territory for me. This TikTok, the space, the kind of content that goes there. I try so hard to understand, but still, it's
the new generation platform and content, to be honest. My sister's better at it than I am, so I completely understand where you're coming from.
Oh my God, you make me sound so ancient there.
No. I'm ancient to TikTok myself, honestly, but I figured it out because of a lot of factors. We'll get into that later.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so upfront, let me ask you. So Fahad, with your kind of content, okay, to be very honest, there are two groups of people. The one group that actually balls out, has a laugh at, the kind of content, and probably the second group who makes no sense. Like for me, no head or tails to that.
I'll tell you something. My own school friends have unfollowed me from Instagram
Really?
because at the rate that I post this content, and they don't understand it, and I don't expect them to understand it because sometimes I don't understand it myself.
Really?
Yeah, because it's a type of humor that is purely sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sarcasm at a level that it gets annoying, but the Gen Z likes it.
Okay.
So you need to understand that on social media, in my industry, which is entertainment, you don't necessarily have so many of our age group sitting and scrolling on it. We're in the working force, we're in the working age, so we don't have that much time. Your first initial audience is always the kids.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So once you understand that, and apart from that, it was just always a thing that I like doing. I like making fun of people. I like making jokes and mimicking stuff from my mom to the greatest motivational speakers of time.
Mm-hmm.
So it just went hand in hand. And then I saw such a strong response of people, enjoying the content. So I just went all out on it with that type of content. So yeah.
So at what point did you think that your content is funny? Because you said there are times that you don't understand your content, right?
So,
and then you thought, okay, maybe this is a profession. I can make a profession out of this.
Okay, so that's a deep question. So content for me started all the way back when I used to tweet on Twitter.
Okay,
I used to be very active on Twitter, and I used to be talking about if I'm at a wedding and I see something weird, I'll tweet that. Okay, and so on Twitter, the way things work is you have a bunch of followers, and if they retweet your tweet, their followers see that tweet, and then it goes on.
Yeah, okay.
So it wasn't much of Gen Z, it was my age group. So,
but you are Gen Z, right?
I was born in 1997, so
borderline.
Borderline,
Okay.
So what I saw that on Twitter, the way things were working is that it was your own diary of your daily experiences. And if you spoke about it in a funny way, people liked that because it was relatable to them.
But there's no content videos, or you just put out these tweets?
No, there's tweets and there's videos.
Yeah, okay.
So occasionally I'd put out videos.
Okay.
And videos were content that I'd shoot on Snapchat.
Oh, okay.
On Snapchat, I'd
with the different filters.
With filters, or I'd record a simple, if there's a chicken, I'll record the chicken with some funny music and I'll post it, and people will find it funny. So it was a mix of mainly tweets and videos.
And random videos.
With no context, no theme, nothing.
Yeah.
And people would find it funny. And then came along the TikTok wave. Initially, I didn't buy into it. I was just like everyone else. I was like, this is just for kids. But then one fine day, I just randomly made a TikTok with the help of my sister. The first TikTok ever made was shot by my sister. And it blew up. And I was like,
on TikTok?
Yeah, on TikTok. And I was like, I've never seen this before. On Instagram, this doesn't happen. On Twitter, this doesn't happen. It takes time for you to gain a strong following.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
So, but that one video took off for you.
It just took off. And it was amazing. It got 100,000 views within 12 hours. And I was like...
What was that video?
It was the Jinn video.
Oh, the Jinn, yes.
That's the first time Jinn appeared.
Yeah.
In any of my series. The Jinn was literally created in 5 minutes.
Oh.
But there's a lot of backstory to the Jinn as well, because those are relatable experiences in my own.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh my God. The Jinn is...
And my mom kind of gives me, shit for it sometimes, because she goes because of you making these videos, something goes missing in the house, or,
So you had real experiences. Oh
yeah, My mom has, and I feel like because of her, I also think and I also have felt some stuff. But it's
Oh my God.
for sure. Otherwise,
Where do you get that content
Yeah, how do
from?
you get that? I can't imagine something out of scratch that strongly into a character unless or until it's actually happened to me. You know.
Okay, so there is a lot of logic behind those videos as
Yeah,
well.
yeah,
It's
for
not just fun. Oh my.
No.
Okay, now I have to go back and scroll through all your gym videos.
No, it's fine.
Okay, so then when that took off,
So when
so
that-
you see, I think a lot of people have actually buy into that concept, right? For me, especially, like my friends and family will tell you, I'm always enamored by these stories. Alhamdulillah, so far, oh my God, I cannot imagine having lived through any of those experiences. But there is so much that is probably like, because you put it out in a fun manner, I think there's a lot of audience for that.
Yeah. So recently, you'll see a lot of people doing stories like jinn stories, horrifying stories, and stuff like that. I tried making fun of that as well on my page. For me, I'm just like a walking meme. If something serious is being spoken about and it's being milked, like it's being dragged too much, then there reaches a point that you can easily make fun of it.
Okay.
So
And people will agree.
People will agree.
Yeah.
That's what happened with motivational. That's what happens with any other joke that I make, because I see in the comments they're like, I thought this was another that type of a video, but it's not, and I love it. That's the type of comments I see. So at that point, I didn't see TikTok as a career when when that video blew up. I was still in between Twitter and TikTok. Like, just content posting was just, that's who I am. That's my.
At what age did you start?
It's hard to pinpoint because Blackberries were around.
Blackberry.
Yeah, when Blackberries were around, you couldn't shoot much content. It was Blackberries was more of a phase in our generation where it was putting up your status on BBM and
Yeah.
having BBM group chats,
BBM group
guy
chats.
girl drama,
Yeah.
and
the free messages.
the free messages. WhatsApp came around that time, and
But that seems like a good 12.
yeah, that's a good
14
12
years
years,
ago, yeah,
14 years
14
ago.
years
And
ago, yeah.
then you fast forward, it's when I got an iPhone, is when I think my content actually started. Because
Taking off.
I was, I don't know what age was that. When iPhone 5S or 5S
Okay.
was out, I don't know what year that is. We can
Yeah.
go back and check. But that's when I started with content. And I didn't start with content knowing that I started content. I found that funny. I recorded it. That's content,
Yeah.
So,
But luckily for you, they took off.
they took a long time, by the way. It's not
Yeah.
like that I had the intention. Okay, I mean, of course,
Yeah.
anyone would want it, but
Yeah.
I was just doing it for the sake of it.
Yeah.
At that initially, I was in electrical engineering, trying to become a robotic engineer, and that's a different story. But content was just something that was a hobby. It's still a hobby, but now it's a hobby turned into my career. So, fast forward from
The gin video.
the gin videos, I was working in a media company around that time, and I had already tried out some stuff to make this into a career, but it didn't work out initially.
Oh, okay.
YouTube, we had this series, me, Majdi, and Ali, called Platform 78. It was just too hectic to carry it out because YouTube is not easy,
I've heard that.
It's very difficult to get in. And
It's a very slow process, apparently. Yeah.
so it was actually one of my clients that I was working with in my media company. This is closer to the time when I resigned from my media company, who asked me to come and do their TikToks.
Yeah. Because your videos were doing well.
I mean, he just saw something. Like
yeah.
he's been following me from Twitter days. He's
So before we get there,
Yeah.
like when I spoke to you before, I from what you said, I know that your story, you have a good story behind how
Yes.
you got here.
Yeah.
So can we briefly go through that?
Okay, where do I start? do I start like from school,
But
university?
from school, yeah, I think there's a lot.
School was amazing. Honestly,
Yeah.
school was my favorite time. I was in Dubai.
You're a Dubai kid, yeah.
Yeah, I was in Dubai Scholars. Our teachers were great. Our principal was great. Today the school isn't the same anymore because the faculty has mainly changed. My sister's still there, and
It's a younger sister.
yeah, my younger sister.
Oh,
is
so
in the
she's
same
been very supportive.
Yeah, of course. And in school, I remember I was not the best in studies.
In academics.
That's like a common question everyone asks, But towards O levels, I killed it. I got like 5 A's, 1 A star, 2 B's. Physics was my dominant subject.
Wow.
I used to enjoy
So you were a
physics.
good student. The right
I would
interests.
say
For a Desi parent, the right interests.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoyed physics because my father had this interest into, building stuff and carpentry and stuff like that. That was his hobby, and we would build physics projects together. Like, he would help me in those. And so I developed an interest to become a robotic engineer. And then the teachers recommended that I go do electrical engineering because there's no, at that point there was just mechatronics being offered, but it was not widely available in
The UAE.
in the UAE. Like you would have to travel abroad, and it's not that easy at blah blah blah. So I fell into AUS. It was an amazing university, but the way they
You got in at AUS through scholarship.
yeah, they give you a scholarship, which I feel like is a marketing technique today. I realize, scholarships are more of just a bait to bring students in. Okay, it's because I had nothing in me. In my A levels, I got a straight E and I got a straight U on physics and math. I did 6 papers together. That's how our school used to do it back then. I wasn't even sad. I never I was never worried about my grades and my subject. It was my mom who usually had the.
As in all Desi homes.
I've paid money for this. You've burnt our money. How dare you do this? But my friends also didn't do that well. Like the top students got C.
Okay, that was some solace.
So the university didn't care. The university was like, "Do you have A levels?" We were like, "Yes." They didn't even look at the grades. They're like, "Okay, you have A levels. You can join us." That's precisely what happened, and we got in. I started studying the basic.
No, because I thought you said you got it based on your A's and A stars.
That was O levels grades.
O levels, okay. Once you got into the A's, AS and A levels.
I gave my A level as well to them, but they didn't consider that. They considered this for the scholarship.
Yeah.
Because
they had to show something that this is what
this is why we've given him scholarship.
Yeah, the scholarship.
I had like 50% scholarship, by the way, for the first year. And to maintain the scholarship, of course, you have to maintain a CGPA of 3.0 or above, cumulative. And the first semester was okay. The second semester was horrible.
You tanked.
I dropped down to, I think, 1.8. The scholarship was taken out. I had to drop out.
So you dropped out.
I dropped out initially.
And in any case, that was not a course that you were keen on.
I wanted to do robotics.
Yeah, but you didn't have it. Yeah.
But the first year of university is basically repeating A levels.
Yeah.
And
the foundation.
And I'm like, what am I doing here? Like technically, some students at that point have paid 50 to 100,000 dirhams for the same thing that they studied in school.
Yeah.
I dropped out. My father was like, we'll take a gap year and then we'll get back into this or another university. And I was completely fine because I was already doing side jobs since A levels.
Since A levels.
GITEX.
Yeah. And that I find interesting because I think they've only legalized it here very recently.
Yeah,
right?
so there were ways around it. If you're 17 turning 18 in that same year, and you could like.
So you didn't waste any time there. You started working.
It was actually as far as since I wanted my BlackBerry. I wanted something, and I saw the way to get it was working. I was like, okay, I don't like. It was a quest, or like in games, it's like a game I have to play. Money is the currency that will allow me to have what I want. It started off like that, and then like how.
So it's not like you had a very lavish lifestyle where you had a phone always.
No.
So you had to work to get that BlackBerry.
Of course. So my dad.
Makes sense.
My dad. I think the last thing my dad got me was a PS3, and that also was like a huge deal. And then after that, when the BlackBerries came out and everyone would have them, there was no question. Like,
you had to have it.
I have to go and get it myself because I knew how the financial situation was. I'm the oldest son, so I understand like what's happening in the family.
No complaints. You were willing to work for it. Yeah.
You have to work for it, and I think I'm glad that the things were the way they were because it shaped me for the direction that I'm going in today. And I'm becoming an example for my brother. And he's following my footsteps. My sister's becoming. The same, she's going in the same direction as well. Like, she doesn't want to waste any time. Anyways, so...
more concern for your parents.
Exactly.
So let's get there with your BlackBerry.
That's another debate as well.
That's debatable.
Yeah. So, now, part-time jobs, dropped out of
At
university.
At the age of 17. Yeah.
17, 18, yeah. I've left the first... Like, I've already done university 1 year, dropped out. And there were multiple jobs that I was doing. A few jobs, like I was working with schools. The job was very straightforward, 5 a.m. to 1 p.m., which is the school timing. You have to go there early. It was a bit hectic because you have to wake up so early. But for a change, I didn't mind waking up early because I'm getting paid to do it. I'm not going to school,
Yeah.
I get to travel to Abu Dhabi, to different schools. I see a lot of people, but it gets repetitive eventually.
And it's the same. It's not like you're using your brain or it's not something challenging, right?
So you have to look for another thing. You can't just, sure, keep it going because it's not an everyday thing. It's weekends only towards the weekends only. So I got into another job, which was...
all the while you were studying?
No, this is during my gap year.
Okay, your gap year. Oh, so you took a gap year, yeah.
Yeah, in AUS, I couldn't do much of side jobs or anything because the type of lifestyle you have when you're in such a university, you have tests, quizzes every week, and you just don't have.
You have to invest yourself in that course.
You don't have the time for anything else. And so I got into another job. So actually the job that I just said was the second job. Before that was this job that I'm just talking about, which is right after AUS. It was like it fell in place together because I gave the interview during my university. And they were a tech company that was actually working with transport companies, construction companies, and they were looking for a salesperson. And they interviewed me, and I was 18 or 19, I think, around the time when they were interviewing me. And I thought, this is it. If I get into this job, I'm going to be working in some like Apple level company. Like, this is such a big deal.
Yeah.
And they liked me.
Yeah.
The interview.
But where did you end up?
I was employed as a salesperson, given a car, but no salary, like just a stipend like of 1,000 dirhams and commission.
Okay.
What was the technology? The technology is exactly what you see in Kafu today.
Oh.
But that technology for B2B.
Okay.
So if it's a transport company, then they need to be able to control where the diesel is going into their fleet. If it's a construction company, it's even more complicated. And everything is done on paper. So if you have like a system like this, it saves you money, it saves you fraud.
Yeah.
And so on. I managed to close one deal, and I was making like, I think, 1,300 dirhams per month. But it didn't matter. I had a car. That's what was most important. The car was free, and the petrol was provided by the company. I think for a 19-year-old in Dubai,
that's rich.
That's everything.
Yeah.
You know, and this is the first your license is fresh, and you have everything.
You
you're
have your
working,
own car, and you have your like feeble money, like to run through,
1,000. I think for me at that time, with no responsibilities, nothing at all, is more than enough at that point. Like if you're not expecting to live a lavish life, 1,000 is like, it just gets you through it. And I didn't care about the money. I wanted to find out like how far can this go. And one day I remember asking my boss about a specific company which was in Jabal Ali. It's called Wade Adams Contracting. They're a huge
contracting company.
Very huge. They're like semi-government. Every government RTA project is given to them for roads. And he goes like, if you bring this in, we will fly you out to America the next month because we will be able to expand our business there, and which never happened.
So you didn't clinch the deal?
No, but I did. So I went to them once. And I got no answer. I was sent back. Because what happens is when you go to a company without meetings, without appointments, the security will tell you off. Okay. Yeah. But I had my way around security. So I used this to my... No, I'll tell you what. My face, people will confuse it sometimes as an Arab. So I spoke in an Arab accent to him, going like, I'm here for a very serious matter, to meet with someone. I just don't know his name and I don't have time for you. Like that. So I need to get in. Okay. So he let me in.
So you tricked him?
I tricked him because I know how our Asian community is.
Works. I know. That's where we face the most.
They will get scared if you do something like this. Yeah. He let me in. He would have never let me in if I spoke in Urdu.
Okay.
Okay.
There's no understanding there.
There's no like if you
no kinship, no brotherhood there.
Nothing. I get in. I go speak to the receptionist. The receptionist was a Filipino. He sent me to the person in charge for what I was looking for, the diesel head. And the guy was like, yeah, you can send me an email. When you hear send me an email,
that's it. The deal is off.
You might as well just go back home and sleep. Your day is done. Like nothing's going to happen after that. But I didn't want to give up. I continued my work with other clients. I came back a month later again to them. But this time I had more experience. It's like a maze, right? When you're trying to close a deal, you learn so many things. And I realized that the person that I contacted was wrong.
Okay.
The person in charge is actually procurement or the general manager for the transport fleet. I learned that because I saw the titles of the people I started meeting in smaller companies.
Yeah.
So I went to the same channel, made some small talk with the receptionist to find out more about the company. He was Filipino, and I remember seeing some tweets about a really nice island in Philippines. So I just started talking to him about that. And we killed time as I was trying to get into a meeting with, I remember it was the procurement head. I went to the procurement. They were Greek people. When you meet white people in a company in the UAE, you've struck gold. Okay, because this is the senior management.
This is the senior.
There's if you can get a message across to them, they will understand you and they will push for you. And that's what happened. I got lucky. I struck gold. The guy was like, I'm not in charge for this. However, I can connect you right now with the person if he's free.
Yeah. You somehow feel they are more understanding, right?
They are more understanding because that's the culture they're brought in, right? They're not. This is not their vision. Their vision is open. They see everything. They give everything a chance. Even if someone who has no education comes sits in front of them, they will listen.
Yeah.
So the guy sent me to this guy called, I don't want to take his name because forget it. He was a 50-year-old man, and he was in charge for the entire fleet. And he goes like, "How old are you?"
Ouch.
Like before I even started talking, and I'm like, I didn't want to lie because of course a man like him probably has a lot of. I was like, I'm 19, and he goes like, "And are you studying?" I'm like, I was, and I took a break. I'm into electrical engineering. He's like, good, don't stop studying. I was like, yeah, hopefully I won't. Let's see how things work. He's like, this technology that you're pitching us, we've been looking for it for 1 month. So it became even more lucky for me because it was the right time. In sales, they call it right time, right location, right person. He was the person in charge. And he goes like, where are you guys? I want to meet with your manager. I'm like, I came here 1 month ago. He goes like, who did you meet?
Oh.
Now, the guy who I met, they called him in and they insulted him. They were like, how dare you send this guy back? Do you not know how badly we need this technology? Blah, blah, blah. They screamed.
So was that some kind of validation for you?
It was. I didn't look at it as validation. In fact, me and that guy became friends later on. We became really close. But it just went to show that I was like,
how seriously you're taken by different sets of people.
By different people see you
different communities, how they engage you.
So that was the start of another long project.
But even though they signed the contract, they didn't send you to the US.
They didn't send me to the US.
They said we need you here.
I got my commission. I made a good. I'll say how much I made. I made 20 grand off that project. That project was huge for my company. I think if I was smart, I could have made way more money. But
you were young, you were naive.
I was young, and I'm glad I was like that because it taught me so much. And I'm still I'm still friends, and I'm still connected with that company, the owner. I met him like 1 month ago. He's like a mentor to me, But and in fact, there was a deal between me and him that for a certain amount, like till death or something, I will keep receiving a certain amount of commission for the first deal I ever closed. And I did receive it for so long. But now it reached a point where it became so irrelevant. So I was like, man, I think let's just stop. Let's just move on from it.
Did you say that?
I didn't say it. I think
it was just
understood. I stopped asking.
Okay. Oh, so you were asking all this while?
No, like it would come into my account here and there. And then if it didn't, once I think I remember asking. And then after that, I was like, I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't look nice anymore.
Yeah, you're over that. Yeah.
It's
you've
finished.
You've milked it.
I've milked it beyond its extent.
Yeah.
Then I resigned from that company as well because.
But you didn't go back to college.
So this is the part where I go back to college now.
Okay.
So I dropped out in summer A, and then I worked from summer A to summer B. And right in summer B, he's like, the project is happening, and I want you to come and be the operations manager for it. And I'm like, great.
20.
But I'm 20. Turning 20.
Yeah.
But he said, I will pay you your commission only if you become operations manager. So that means I'm not getting paid extra to do those jobs. And at that point, I was asking myself, Fahad, what would you rather do? Would you rather not get the experience, or would you rather go and work? I mean, he's smart. He's smart in what he's doing. He's milking me. But at the same time, I should also go and accept it because what am I? I'm 20 years old without a degree.
Yeah.
Getting the job which people who are twice my age have today. Okay? So I went for it. I would wake up 5 a.m.
So you went for it?
I went for it. I was like, what am I going to do? I would wake up 5 a.m. I would have a car. And I would have 3 technicians with me.
So all this while, did your parents have any say? Like, Fahad, you should be back in college because still,
So I was going to go back in college actually.
You were just 20 years old, so
right after summer I was going to go back.
Yeah, so didn't they have any says because you went back to work?
No, I mean, they were happy that I'm working, I would say, because unlike other kids who are just chilling, playing video games, hanging out with friends, late night,
you're bringing in the money.
I'm working. And I wouldn't have the time to do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the type of group that I attracted. And my parents, I think, would just tell me one thing, which is don't let someone abuse you, because they could see what I couldn't see. But my dad, on the other hand, was like, no, even if you're getting abused, go for it, because if you will not, like right now is the time that you learn. So if you make mistakes now, it will pay off in your future rather than you making mistakes in the future. So they kind of, leave the
Molded you.
child to learn himself kind of situation. And also I'm very stubborn. I'm like, if I want to do this, I'm going to do this my way. Even if it's wrong, it's
Okay.
fine. I will learn the wrong way. I will learn the hard way, and then I will never do it again. But if you're like, I think in some
I think it's the spirit of that age, probably.
also that, and it's taken as an offense because you should not disobey your parents. But at the same
Always, Stacey.
but at the same time, I'm not disobeying my parents. I'm just choosing a longer path, is what I say to them, and I respect them and I listen to them always. And there are certain things that I would never do if they don't agree. But things like career, like where I'm building my future, where I have to be answerable and I have to take care of responsibilities in the future, I like to go in my way.
Yeah.
So
that you don't have any regrets later. You've tried.
like I tried everything, but it was worth it. The techniques that I developed, the communication skills, the people skills. I was working with people from the labor class all the way up to operations and senior management. I had disputes, I had arguments with such people. I didn't care what their age was. I'm here to get my job done. HSE, safety departments. And I just saw that our Asian community has so much ego. Like if you put a title here on someone, they think they're everything. They own that. Like a security guard will think that he's the king of this place and nobody else is allowed here unless he says so. But it was fine. You learn. And I think, and then right after that, I joined RIT.
Okay, so you quit and you joined RIT.
I mean, project was done. I joined RIT. RIT was great, but now it was like in my batch because I had to restart. I had to start from scratch. The credits didn't transfer, and I didn't want the credits to transfer. I was like, whatever. Kids, 19-year-old were with me, and I'm turning 21 now. It was a bit strange, but it was fine. Year one went great.
But why didn't you want to continue at AUS?
It was just too expensive.
Okay.
And RIT was again offering me scholarship. AUS wouldn't, and RIT was cheaper. I'm not sure by how much, but it was way cheaper, and it also had its campus in New York, so there was a chance that I could go there and work or study over there.
Yeah. Intern.
So I went back to pursue electrical engineering in my aim to become a robotics engineer. I had inspiration from Iron Man and Tony Stark as well, so I was like, I want to do this. It's a passion. And now that I had hands-on experience with something, but it didn't matter in the university. Nobody cared that I went and done such a big job or something.
No.
Nobody even knew what I was doing. The professors are there to teach you a course, and that's it.
That's it. They don't care where you are, who you come from.
Doesn't matter. RIT year one went well,
Decently,
but year two, semester one, I even did a summer semester, is where I realized that, is this really worth it? Like,
Because now you were back to college and you were not working or making money.
yeah, the issue was that my family's financial situation was still stable. Like it was still, and I saw that they're struggling to keep up with my university, and I had to pay a certain amount. Like I would still do side jobs. RIT was fairly easier than AUS. I could do side jobs.
Oh, okay.
And
so what were your side jobs like?
anything, you name it, anything. Like in Ramadan, I worked with my friend's restaurant, and I was doing delivery for biryani and haris. And my other friend owns a kunafa store, Firas Sweets, if you've heard about it.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Wow.
So I would work.
Oh, so that's a friend's place?
Yeah, they are
Wow.
Palestinian, Jordanian people.
Wow.
Yeah. So I would work at night time with them and deliver their kunafa door to door in the electric bike. And in morning time, in daytime, I would go and deliver biryani and haris from my other friend's kitchen during Ramadan. And morning, pure morning is when I was doing my summer semester. So everything was in line. This is like, that was like crazy.
So there were always side jobs.
There was always side jobs. Ticket ushering for a cricket match. I'll stand over there and I'll scan tickets for people. Majdi would get a lot of part-time events because he was in a lot of part-time events and he would put me in. I would put Majdi into different jobs. I remember working for some conferences in World Trade Center as well, where a lot of international doctors would come, some medical conference or something through another agency. But this is just like, side money. It's not permanent. Like some side jobs pay you more, some don't. It just gets you through the month. And you're living job to job. So it wasn't really you're not learning.
But you were making money throughout college as well, yeah. Throughout RIT.
I was paying for myself. I think for a long time I had stopped asking money from home. Like I was just taking care of everything. And then when I was
second year?
Yeah, second year, end of the first semester, I just like I saw the financial situation at home, and I was like, is it worth it that they go through this, and is it worth it that I go through this? And one of my friends that I had met.
So all this while you were making videos?
Yeah. Snapchat mainly.
And like, were
Twitter.
you gaining that following?
I had a very, I would say, loyal and decent following of like 500 people. But out
500?
of 500 people on Twitter. Snapchat maybe 80, 100 people. All my friends and work
80, 100?
80 to 100.
80 to 100. Oh.
Yeah, and how many were active and engaging with me would be like 10 to 20, which is great, which is a big number. Like if you're just a single individual and you're not an influencer and you're getting 10 to 20 interactions, like separate people are messaging you about your videos or about whatever you're doing, which is great. But I wasn't focusing it on it. Like as you can see, like the hectic lifestyle that I had,
Absolutely.
I would just put anything or everything, tweet, make videos and just post it. And I think around the time of the second semester, first year, a friend of mine from that job, the construction company job that I was doing, just told me about a media company. He's like, yo, let's try this out. I'm working there. They're great. The environment is great. Just have an interview. I went there. I had an interview with the guy, and the guy was like, everything is cool. And the guy said, the only thing is, your only condition to work with me is if you drop out of university.
Because they want you full time.
They want me full time, not on salary again, yeah. The commission only. But the guy was, I don't know why he said that, but he said that. What his intention was, what his thinking was, I didn't understand at that point. And I remember it was the end of the semester, so finals were coming up. And I was driving back home that day, and I was like,
it's a good time to quit.
Yeah, like I was already thinking about quitting for a while because I was getting sick of it. I wasn't enjoying it because you feel like you're in the wrong place.
A misfit.
And I remember going home, sitting my mom down, sitting my dad, and I'm like, I'm going to drop out. And Majdi was there as well. And my mom goes insane. She's crying. She's like, I will kill myself. You know how desi moms get.
Yeah.
I'm. How will I tell anyone? You won't have a degree. And my dad's just sitting like this. And my dad's like, okay, what's the scenario?
So he didn't make any.
My dad is very chill.
Chill.
He's very chill. He's very positive and
so
very
you actually
calm.
had a sit-down meeting telling them,
Because it's
you
a
were
big thing.
Yeah, because you were at the end of the second semester as well. So.
You're halfway almost there.
Yeah, you almost
just continue.
Yeah.
I'm like, Dad.
And that's a lot of money to go wasted as well.
Exactly. I'm like, Dad, tell me one thing. Is 35,000 an amount that you can pay on so-and-so day? And he goes like, Inshallah. I'm like, look, I'm Muslim, you're Muslim. Inshallah is not a guarantee. It's in the name of Allah. Okay, if it happens, it happens. Are we sure? And is it going to set you guys back? Or are we going to be in debt? And again, he said, Inshallah. I was like, listen, I want to do robotics engineering, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. Maybe there's more things at play like that can work out for me. I'm going to drop out.
So it was decided. You had decided
I had decided on that drive back home from that interview. I went for the finals. I gave...
so you attempted the exams?
I wrote gibberish. I literally, I think that was the most savage thing that I did in my life. The question was written for math. I wrote the same question, answer, left. And I met the professors. Some of the professors I was really close to. I told them, I'm not going to be coming back. It was a great time being taught by you. And so is this. And they were happy. They were like, no, we wish you the best of luck.
And they were cool with it. They were cool about it.
They were fine with it. Apart from the fact that I didn't pay my last semester fees, and they still keep sending me emails. And one day I will pay them, but...
Which you conveniently choose to ignore.
I just ignore it at the moment because many people told me that they can't do anything to you. It's fine. But I've decided...
I don't endorse that.
the day I can make that much money in like a day, I think I will go and pay them their semester fees. But for now, I'm just going to keep choosing to ignore it. But that was it.
So do you see a trend in college dropouts being very successful in life?
I wouldn't say there's a trend. I would definitely say it's a hot clickbait topic to talk about on social media, but it's not for everyone.
It's not for... Exactly. I mean,
I was conditioned for it.
You were. Because you don't want the next Gen Z to, get into a good college and then say, okay, now I have to drop out to do well.
Be picky about the college you get into and the major you're getting into, and be open to changing your mind later on because that doesn't work out for you. Also, be very, very selective about the career you're choosing. They're saying content creation is the future and it's a great career to be in, but there is no groundwork or framework to look at right now. The only groundwork and framework to look at is what existing content creators are doing, and even they don't know what they're doing. They're just making it up as they go.
Yeah.
No one has a blueprint. If tomorrow X influencer or X creator puts up a video and it gets 1 million views, you cannot call that a blueprint because there's just not enough data to back that up.
It's so volatile, right? You don't know what works today, and what tanks tomorrow. It's crazy, yeah.
It's a dangerous thing.
Yeah.
But I would just say that cliche line that everyone says: if you are passionate about something, chase it. If you're passionate about painting, chase it. If you're passionate about, I don't know, you want to become an engineer, chase that dream, even if that means...
So do you think if you had gotten into robotics, you would have stayed on?
It's hard for me to comment on that today because now things have changed so much for me as an individual. But let's say I go back in time and I don't know what's happening in this future of my life. And I had the ability to go into robotics. My initial dream was to start a business and start a sort of technology company that will change the world. Maybe that would have been a whole different thing. Maybe I would have set up a tech company that was, changing the way something something
Yeah, it
worked.
could have taken an completely different route.
I don't know.
So, but do you intend to go back to college someday to pacify your mom?
I intend to building my own university. Like I intend on because what I experienced during the university's phase was I clearly saw, especially in this region of the world, it's a pure business. And
unfortunately,
and our parents,
education, healthcare,
our parents come here and they struggle so hard to pay for it, and there are so many people like they put in their life's work into their kids' education.
the fees that you see around that goes into education
Not
today is
justifiable.
insane. It's almost like you're paying for uni already for my my primary
You
child.
can get a Nissan Petrol for the same money. You can get a nice apartment in Dubai for the same money.
Yeah, it's insane how they how
And how much
the whole
is-
sector has been twisted.
How
It's-
much is the
it's
return on
unfortunate.
investment for the child? Does the child grow from that? It's just sad, and that's kind of why I want to create something in my field where I can make a bridge for people who are like me that want to get into this industry, that they come, they study.
Once
I'm developed enough to that
and
extent.
you are able to understand how this thing works. This space
it's very
works.
complicated. And you're talking about changing a system. That means you're talking about governmental level approvals. And for something like this, where there's no there's no board.
Yeah,
There's no board there's no IGCSE for content.
for content. Yeah,
Right?
Yeah.
So I have to build a community, and there's a lot of work to be done in that sector. But that's the goal eventually as well. One of the big goals that I have.
Yeah. So how did you end up creating this company K9?
K9 happened when I was in this media company.
Yeah.
Media company experience happened, etc. And one of my clients.
So you have to tell us, because I was introducing you. It's the first of its kind content creation company in the Middle East.
Yeah.
TikTok content creation company.
So
And that's insane. I'm like, how you create content on TikTok? Because this whole space is, like I said, it's
fast
beyond me.
forward through the media company, the experience, and etc. TikTok was booming in its peak phase, and I was doing well on TikTok as well. I discovered different things.
So by then you had made your following.
I had gained a lot of following during this time, and one of my clients that I had brought into the media company that I was working in.
Wait, let me just quickly. So when you are making all this content, right?
Yeah.
Do you find your jokes funny?
Not all the time. Not all the time. Honestly, sometimes I just look at the video and I go this is just average. But I still put it out because they say that just because you don't find it funny doesn't mean someone else won't.
Okay.
It's so subjective. And I do real human trials. I send that video to X friend, I send that video to Y friend, and someone will find it funny, someone will give me some sort of feedback that this could be this could be that.
You could change it here, you could change it.
Regardless of what the feedback is, I will post it.
You post it anyway.
Anyways.
Not necessarily because you find it funny or you...
Because it's like this, right? It's throwing a dart on a bull's in that dart chart, whatever that is.
That board.
And dartboard, and you just have to keep throwing it till you get the spot.
And you've hit the spot a few times.
Multiple times.
Yeah.
I've done it so many times, and it's only done this way.
Just try your luck
Consistency.
with the videos.
Try your luck. Keep trying it, even if your video is horrible. It's the most lamest video ever. If 10 people like it, and if those 10 people share it with another 10, that's 20. If 20 shared with another 40, that's it multiplies.
It blows up.
It blows up. So you never know what's going to work. So that's like one formula that I followed throughout my content life.
Just keep putting out content.
Just keep putting out content.
And so this colleague.
This colleague of mine, this friend of mine from school and from university, he told me that we stopped working with our media. Like, he stopped working with my media company at that point. And a few months later, he reached out to me and he went like, I see you doing TikToks. And he had a lot of faith in me, I would say. He's like that friend that... So I can actually take his name. He's, so Danube Homes owner Rizwan Sajan, his brother Anis Sajan, his son.
Okay.
Azhar Sajan. And he's
Azhar
a good friend.
Sajan.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. And he's always supported and he's always seen whatever jobs I've been doing, and we've been friends from the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been to his house multiple times for different events way back, like long ago. And so...
You went to school together?
I didn't go to school with him. When he was doing his A-levels, my friends from my school was in his school.
Common friends.
So we met.
Okay.
And he's a very open guy. Like, he will connect and network with everyone. And so he told me, he's like, why don't you come and do TikToks for my business? And I was on the verge of leaving the media company for XYZ reasons, politics and etc. And so I was like, fine. I did that. And that was the first time ever that I created TikToks for someone else other than me. And honestly, if you go back and look
as
at
an ad for Danny.
Not an ad. It was Casa Milano. His firm is Casa Milano.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a video of a nice mock-up of a luxury washroom, okay, with nice vanities. So I'm just making a nice video with nice music of that. And I was just trying out stuff. Again, I was just trying out stuff. I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have a formula. The 27th video that I made for them reached 7.1 million views.
27th. Just being consistent at it.
Just being posting every day. I would go and life was good. Wake up 11 o'clock, go to the showroom, make a video.
But this was your first paid job?
This was my first, it was a
salary
gig.
Job, yeah.
It was a gig. It was like, how do I say it? Like, you're giving tuitions to someone and you get paid for that, or you're doing singing, or it's just like a part-time or a freelance thing. And I was on call with Majdi, I remember, and me and Majdi would always be talking. He graduated, he did his thing. He took the straight way and he got he got the right job and everything. I was like, man, you wake up 9 a.m. every day, suit and tie. Are you happy with what you're doing? And I would just make fun of him every single time, and he would want to kill me because he's sitting on the phone in the desk. And I was like, this is what I've started doing. And he goes like, okay. And he was just like, I remember he was the one who helped me determine the price that we set for the thing. He was like, okay, say this much, not this much. I was like, okay, because we exchange everything, like we're like this together. And
the close kisses, we see that.
Yeah. And then almost. No,
yeah.
That's something else. So once that video blew up, it went like wildfire. He's like, okay, I need you to do Danube Home. And now Danube Home required Arabic content. I was like, Majdi, I need you to come do this part-time with me. Majdi comes in.
Was more than happy to join.
Of course.
Threw away his
time. Of course. No, he was still working. He started doing this as a part-time thing with me. We're making money together. And Danube Home goes viral too. Danube Home goes viral. Another company's interested. Dokip Pharmacy, the group. Mm-hmm. The owner is friends with his brother, Azhar's brother. Oh. So it was all connected.
Okay.
People started talking to each other.
The network matters.
The network started activating because people started seeing
noticing
the work.
You guys, yeah.
Videos were being shared everywhere. And before you know it, within, I think, 4 months or 3 months, we had 10 clients active.
And you didn't have a company?
We didn't have a company. We were just freelancing. And for the first time in our lives, like Majdi had resigned by now, for the first time in our lives, we didn't have to answer to anyone. We were the bosses of our own work. We didn't have a manager on top. We didn't have anyone. And we were like, okay, this is
working. This seems to be
working. And then from there onwards, it was a lot of hurdles. It was a lot of complications because I went back for some help with the media company and then media company tried to, infiltrate and try to do the same thing.
But probably they don't have influencers like you.
It's not influencers.
Do you want to call yourself an influencer?
I hate the word influencer. I would rather call myself a creator. Not even a content creator because that's also abused at this point. Everyone's a content creator. I like to call myself, I create.
You create.
I just like creating. I like innovating, And slowly we realized through TikTok, which is a key, which I've talked about before as well. In my media company,
So does TikTok pay you?
TikTok doesn't pay you.
Right? It works like Instagram unless you're doing a collab, right?
On TikTok, if a company like Subway is asking you to do a video,
Yeah,
then
they
will
Subway.
pay you.
Yeah.
Not
So the
TikTok.
only platform that actually the platform that actually pays you would be YouTube, where you wouldn't
Properly.
have a presence.
Yeah, properly. Where I don't have a presence as of yet. It's in my pipeline. But again, of course, you have to pay the bills and you have to make money.
But
through
you're
whatever
making money
doing.
now.
No. I'm just saying in terms of TikTok paying you or
Okay,
not,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Mhm.
I'm saying that if you're trying to get into this, world of content, and you're thinking how much money will I make, don't do it.
Don't start there.
Don't start.
That's a
there.
very wrong point to start.
Start
right?
with
passion.
and what am I going to give to people? Are people who are sad going to watch my video, be happy after a bad day? Are people going to learn something from me? Are people going to benefit in any way from me or not? If yes, then go into the journey of content. If no, stay out of it. Because only when you do it that way, because people have when you're talking to someone and they're faking it, you can tell. And that's the thing with content. If you're faking it on your videos, anyone can tell and nobody will ever like you. And your videos will never get anywhere. Eventually it will always stop. And there are so many people I know that do it, and so many people I see in their comments as well, how they get hate for it, because that's not them. They're pretending to be someone. So be yourself, which is again a cliche line, but it is true. You have to be yourself. And
So and then you guys created the company and it took off from there.
the rest is history.
Yeah.
And
How long has this company been formed?
The official trade license was set up in April last year.
Last year.
So it's been a year officially, but of course we've been working since October 2020. Since the Casa Milano client that came in, we've been this October it's going to be almost 2 years, I would say. But
So
officially,
you guys are building your client base.
we've reached a point where
So I think because the kind of content that you create, it's mostly fun, it's mostly humorous, right? So you have to have that kind of
understanding
with the clients as well. Because when you look at it, someone like Dan Ubin, it's this intense, homeware,
I'll
hardware.
tell you.
Yeah. And then how do you twist it and tweak it to make it to your style of content?
I'm working with some real estate brokers in the company, in the market. I'm working with owners of businesses. Recently, we've started working with InsuranceMarket.ae CEO, Brands for Less CEO.
You mentioned Sephora as well.
Sephora, not the CEO, but Sephora as a company, we work with them. And these people have come now after seeing the work, after seeing what we've done, and after understanding that, okay, TikTok requires you to be a specific way. And I hear
What is that way, really?
that specific way is raw in your form and understand.
When I was 5, I was 5.
No, that's my page.
Yeah.
It differs from page to page.
Yeah.
On Tauheed's page, if I do that, it won't work.
Yeah.
On Sephora's page, it won't work. It'll work on my page because that's my thing. Every page has a niche. Every page has a thing that works for them. And that's what we figure out. We create the page from scratch. We understand.
So you take over their page?
We take over them as well on their social presence. Our team's job is to
So do you have a big team now?
we have 6 content creators, and I wouldn't say it's big, but we're catering to 20 clients a month on average. Clients come and go, and we don't have a sales team, I would say, today, because at this point
You don't need sales
people
team.
are contacting us.
Yeah, people
with
are coming
the
out to you.
name that is built in the market. If it's TikTok, it's us. And we have people who have worked with other agencies who are trying to do it and are upset.
And they come to you.
They come to us, and then they find out, because before we used to charge low, but now we charge higher, and they go no, how is this possible? For TikTok, why should I pay this much? I'm like, okay, fine. I mean, if that's the way you think about it, but today there's no other platform that will allow you to get this much reach organically. So it is a task, because you can't guarantee a client going viral. You can't tell someone that you're paying me this money and I promise you you're going viral.
Yeah, you cannot promise them the reach, right?
I remember speaking to someone recently, and he goes he was bringing a client. He was like, what if we don't go viral? Then what? I'm like, you go work with a billboard you're going to pay 400, 300,000 dirhams, and you ask them, what if you don't get sales? They'll laugh at you and they'll walk away, because it's not their job to get you sales. It's their job to market you.
Yeah. And you'll do your bit.
I will do my part in marketing you. I'm setting up your billboard on the internet. Think of it like that. Simple, straightforward. If you're looking for sales, there's many other ways. Set up a sales team, set up Google Ads, work with keywords. TikTok is all about brand awareness. If you want to make a name for yourself on the internet, then comes sales later on. And
So you think TikTok is a more prominent platform
at the current point?
for companies?
Yes, for now, yes. And not in terms of selling your product, in terms of telling the people your message.
Getting the visibility for your
Yeah,
product.
like if you're doing a business about, I don't know, solar panels. You want to
You
talk...
think it has more reach than Instagram?
Yes, for sure. For sure. Like in today's world, definitely. Currently, yes. Reels and Instagram have tried to beat TikTok.
But not getting there yet.
It's still not comparable. But TikTok will slow down. And it is, I already feel it's already happening. It's slowing down because eventually so many users will come on the platform and it will become ad-based. Every other video will be an ad. Users will get bored and eventually something will come out. But
probably another app will come out. So,
Yeah.
so like now that you have your own page and a verified account, how do you get verified?
on TikTok, there's a rule that you have to cross 500,000 followers.
Oh, okay.
But it still doesn't apply to everyone because there are so many people I know with millions of followers, they're not verified. You have to meet a certain aesthetic of TikTok.
Okay.
And of course, you need to know a certain amount of people inside TikTok. So I knew a certain
You
amount
work
of
your
people.
way through it.
I reached out to them when I crossed the 500,000 mark. I got no serious response, but just 1 month later, I saw I was verified.
So do you get anything from being verified, or
Nothing. It's just
your account
ego and
self-validation.
Self-validation.
Yeah.
There's no money. There's nothing. It's just a blue tick.
It's a blue tick.
If there's no blue
so how
tick-
come you're not verified on Instagram yet? Then?
Because Instagram requires you to have magazines and articles and
Covering
stuff posted
you.
about you. Again, I don't think it makes any difference. It's just, wow, this guy has a blue tick. And this guy is big.
This guy is huge.
But I don't
That's
know.
how I started following you. My kids were so excited. Oh my god, Ami, this guy is so huge. He's on TikTok. He's
I don't-
verified.
I-
Everyone. I think that is how the younger generation, like you said,
Yeah.
the Gen Z, the true Gen Z, they look at that is how they categorize you or they validate you.
Yeah.
Okay, this guy is verified. He's legit.
He's legit, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's sad as well because,
Yeah.
that's the type of society that is being built in the
I
future.
know. We look for validation from everyone around us, but within us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I try to, everyone that I meet, everyone, like I have kids, my audience is mainly kids. So mainly I'll see them in the mall, they'll come up to me and they'll be like going crazy. And I'll be like, listen, I'm just a normal guy. I'm not someone big. I'll do whatever they say. I'll take a picture with them. I'll
Yeah.
make a video with them. And that's the type of message also that I want to keep. I don't want to show people that I'm Shah Rukh Khan walking on the streets. I'm not
But
that.
you have that, that style of walking as well.
that's just naturally my walk since the beginning. It has nothing
But then
to do.
you add some effects in slow motion, and then it gets,
Yeah. That's for jokes. That's for videos.
It works so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apart from that,
So you're verified. You have, mashallah, an awesome business setup. And like, seriously, how old are you? Like 25?
24, turning 25
Yeah.
in September. Yeah.
So what next for you?
I want to have 50-story buildings all across the world. This is my goal with my name on it. And as
With
a
your
joke,
name. Okay.
FAHAADK_. My username. You know
Yeah.
how you have Damak, you have
Yeah.
Imar. I want to have my name in that white LED panels. And apart from that kind of an ambitious goal, I want to again change the industry in some way. Set up
The content.
not just content. It could be anything else as well. But content is the direction that content is the direction that I'm in right now. It could be, I don't know, maybe I do some sort of community work. Maybe I help people around the world
Become
with
the next
something.
Bill Gates.
I want to beat Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates and Elon. I see them as my competition. Anyone below that is, okay, you do your thing. I don't see you as
Yeah.
competition. That's my competition.
That's where I'm headed.
That's where I'm headed. That's the laser focus that I have. And what I have to do to get there, I don't know. Is it with K9? Is it I have to develop a whole different community around me? I don't know. But K9
But now
is-
you are working simultaneously on K9 content
Yeah.
as well as on yours, because you don't want to stop building your brand.
So K9, alhamdulillah, has reached a place, and we have such a great team that they manage everything. Like so much of the content that you now see is done by the team entirely.
Okay, not you.
Me and Majdi just take care of
Oversee
certain things, oversee everything. Majdi's taking care of like some certain clients. I'm taking care of some certain clients. Usually in the individuals, we have to play a more stronger role because they require more effort and more interference from us. But I would say I've kind of reached almost a saturated phase on my own content on my TikTok. And I think now I'm headed towards YouTube. I feel. And maybe I'll start heading towards that direction, but I don't know how it's going to be.
But do you think you are kind of saturated in the TikTok space?
I would say that how many jokes can how many times can you listen to a song and it'll get boring?
So you're happy where you're headed now, like in this space?
I think I've been happy since.
So what do you intend to do on YouTube? Create longer content?
Of course, that's the long content. The way the format is, you have to create longer videos, and it's not the thing that I do right now. I'm so centered around short-based content. But on YouTube, I initially wanted to start off with teaching people how to do content, but then there's so many people already doing that. So maybe, I don't know, I'll mix comedy with teaching and go into that direction. Or maybe I'll try to go into the storytelling direction. I don't know. Honestly, I don't have an answer to that. Maybe a year from now, I would be able to properly comment on how I figured it out. But just like everything else, I'm going to try it. If it works, it works. If it doesn't.
Okay, so now let's quickly move to a quick take segment. It's, it has to be rapid and fiery.
Okay.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how funny do you think you really are?
11.
I shouldn't have expected less.
For sure.
What is your most useless talent?
My most useless talent, I think, I don't have any talents, guys. I'm talentless. But I think would be again, I don't think I have. I think if
Is that you being humble? No.
No, I'm
Being
just being honest. I don't have. I think the only thing that I would consider a talent that I have is my ability to see something and make it funny. That's it. And that's also something that I've developed over time. Yeah.
You seem to be very bold and experimental. So what is the one thing that you cannot wait to explore?
The one thing that I cannot wait to explore is leaving the existing content direction that I have and jumping onto something completely different from that. And that would be a huge risk. That means that all that audience that I've developed till date, I have to start from scratch all over again.
But in the similar field, you say?
Yeah, in content, but like maybe what if I switch my content from being funny to being serious and being educational,
Do you think you can do that?
I don't know.
As an extension of what you've been doing, probably you should get into motivational speaking.
That's another person also said that. And it would be hilarious.
So people wouldn't know if it's a joke or like, are you serious?
People comment that, by the way, in my
what the hell is happening now?
I've done serious videos and people are like, I've seen this guy do so many jokes. I don't know if he's being serious right now.
People don't know what to take of you, right?
Yeah. And I'm glad it's like that because I intended it to be like that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
When I started.
So people are confused, where do we stand? Yeah. Okay. So what is your superpower?
What is my superpower? I think my superpower is to be able to make content out of complete thin air and within a very, very specific time frame as well.
Absolutely. How long do you take to create a content? Like, your 5-second
I
video?
think my best videos have been created in 5 minutes.
So do you have a content creation team for your page, for your...
No.
It's all you.
I'm a one-man show on my content. I wouldn't want anyone to do my content as well. I'm very... and when I say create the video, I mean I will shoot it, edit it, and post it within that time frame. That's
your superpower, right?
Yeah,
that's insane. I think a lot because like what I see of other influencers is that a lot of care is taken into each video to make sure that they look perfect. It's a flawless video, but I don't see that in you.
There's no such thing as perfection, and the more perfect you make it, the more time you're wasting to make another video.
So you're so huge in social media. You're successful. You're young. How do you deal with female attention?
How do you deal with female attention? I ironically don't get that much female attention because I've seen my followers as well.
Are you kidding?
No, I'm serious. Like I mean, there are female followers. There's not much of that, honestly. Maybe because of the jokes part. I'm not even very rare. Like maybe once in a blue moon. I didn't build my content around that. I'm more of going towards the funny part. So it wasn't that much of a deal. Like barely I would get people hitting on me. It's more of people laughing at my jokes and just commenting and laughing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I would have thought of a very juicy answer over there. A lot of drama, nothing.
No, nothing. Thank God. I'm glad it's that way. I don't want it to be any other way.
So what's your best pickup line?
What's my best pickup line? I actually don't have any. I think.
So beyond your sarcasm, you seem to be pretty boring, eh?
Yeah, beyond my sarcasm, I'm just Fahad. Like I'm a very simple guy. But if if I sit with someone and if I'm trying to pursue them, I think I can do. It's through my lame jokes I will
Impress someone.
Yeah, you know that phrase in Urdu, hasi to pasi.
Okay.
So I can get anyone to laugh. So that would be my ability to pick up anyone. But yeah,
But no straight line.
yeah, no straight line as such.
Know how you're doing.
Nothing like that. Yeah,
So if you came with a warning label, what would it say?
a warning label. If this guy likes to do something, he's going to become extremely obsessive with it, and he will not have control over himself. Which is, for example, my work, and he will, go crazy. Or that's my toxic trait as well, but it's something I'm working on. Like if I'm trying to complete a task, I will forget if there's an earthquake or if there is, a tsunami heading my way. I will finish that task and only then leave to the next thing. So yeah,
If you had a free kill, who would it be and why?
a free kill. I can kill anyone in the world, and I don't want to kill anyone. But
So there's no one you harbor any negative feelings towards.
no, even if there were people that I have,
wouldn't kill.
Yeah, I wouldn't kill them. Like I wouldn't kill my worst enemy. Yeah.
So what is success for you, Fahad?
I think success for you is to be able to wake up anytime you want during the day, in the morning, in the afternoon. I don't have mornings. I wake up in the afternoon. Barely 11 o'clock is like late afternoon, late morning. And be able to control what you're doing in your life. I think that is success for me. I think you're successful the day you can do that. It doesn't mean you have $1 million in your bank account or you're Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. I think I'm already successful at that point when I don't have to pick up the phone and be like, yes, I'm reaching now. I'm so sorry. I'm late.
You don't have to be. You're not answerable to anyone.
I'm not answerable to. I'm answerable to myself and the consequences that I have to face of my own decisions. That is success.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it was a pleasure talking to you. That's a wrap,
Likewise.
Fahad. It was a pleasure talking to you
Likewise.
and to gain so much insight into this very crazy space that you're in.
Thank you.
And it's amazing how at such a young age, you had so much experiences, so much wealth of experiences, and you're creating new ways for the upcoming generation.
Yeah.
The perks, and you're showing them the perks of taking risks and being
course.
successful at it.
Of course. I tell people that I'm 35 mentally. It's just my age is 24 right now, but
Yeah.
I've lived through a lot already. Yeah.
Through a lot, indeed. And I'm glad you were able to share all of that on this
Yeah.
podcast. Thank you so much, Fahad, for
Thank
your
you so
time
much
here.
for having me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.